Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Dane, your host of the Rock and Metal Guardian. Today I'm going to talk about my top 25 favorite hair metal albums of all time. If you want to call it glam metal, pop metal, you know what type of music I'm talking about, right? But before we count down, I'm going to preface this with the qualifications you have to make this list. So number one is you can't be from a band if you didn't start out as a hair metal band. So for example, Aerosmith and Kiss do not qualify. You might be able to argue Kiss because of the makeup, but really what you have despite the makeup early on is a hard rock style. And then of course Aerosmith didn't start off as a hair metal. That comes much later. They're essentially a blues-based hard rock band. So again, you can't be on this list if you didn't start out as a hair metal band. Two, you're a hair metal band and it has to be a hair metal album. So for example, Cinderella, the later part of their career, they have more blues-based music, so that those albums wouldn't qualify. And finally, three, the album has to have it so that most of the tracks are between good and excellent. And of course, this means that these are 80s releases. So let's go ahead and get started. Coming in at number 25 is Psycho Cafe by the band Bang Tango. The most famous song from this album is the fantastic Someone Like You. Very heavy. And the band, if you look at the lead singer, I can't remember his name, but he has an Aerosmith vibe, a Steven Tyler vibe going on, and even the music has an Aerosmith quality to it, but heavier in many regards. So as I go through these albums, I'm going to talk about the songs that attract me to the albums the most. So Someone Like You, Attack of Life, which starts the album, great song. Do What You're Told, Sweet Little Razor. There are others on the album that I like, but these are the ones that stand out to me the most. So for some of these, I'm going to read most, if not all of the songs, if I really, really like the album in the sense that they're start to finish, or mostly start to finish. But Psycho Cafe, for the most part, I would say 90+% of the songs I really like, and maybe there's like one song I don't like. So, and I'm not going to list everything I like or don't like for the most part. Number 24 is Faster Pussycat's debut. You got songs like Bathroom Wall, Don't Change That Song, Cat House, Babylon, and Smash Alley. This is one of those albums that I think start to finish, but those are the songs that I listen to the most when I listen to that record. Coming in at number 23 is Skid Row's debut, Youth Gone Wild, 18 in Life, and I Remember You, all the radio hits, of course. But then you got Piece of Me and Big Guns, which I really, really like those two as well. Of course, the rest of the album is quite good as well, but these are the ones that I gravitate towards the most. So coming in at number 23 is Skid Row. Number 22 is Twisted Sister Stay Hungry. Of course, we're Not Gonna Take It, Burn in Hell, I Wanna Rock. Those are the three standout tracks. But the song for me, and I think this made it as a hit as well, and it was more of a ballady type song, is the song The Price. That's the song I like the most on this album. I think there's one stinker on the album. I can't remember the name of it. It's eluding me right now. But overall, this is a good album. Is it a great album? No, but it's a good album, so I'm including it. It's 22. It's not making my top 10 or top 15 or even top 20, but I have to include it because this is in my DNA from being 16 and all that. And this is an album I don't want to say I listen to it all the time, but occasionally I will go to it and I like what I listen to, despite the fact that We're Not Gonna Take It has been overplayed so much and that sort of thing, but I do like this album. So Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister, number 22. Number 21 is Wicked Sensation by Lynch Mob, the debut from George Lynch and crew. You got the title track, Hell Child, She's Evil But She's Mine is probably my favorite song on the album. The lovely Rain, and the great song Through These Eyes. So Wicked Sensation. Unfortunately, this is probably the only Lynch Mob album I listen to anymore. Anyway, number 20, here's probably an album you haven't thought about in a long time, and that is Headhunter by Crocus, the fantastic Screaming in the Night. Eat the Rich was the second hit off that album. You got the title track, Ready to Burn, and Nightwolf, I think, are some underrated tracks on that album. This is not one of those albums that's like start to finish fantastic, but I would say 70-75% of the songs on this album are good, so I'm including it. So it cracks the top 20. Oh, I forgot. On Headhunter, you have the BTO cover, Stayed Awake All Night, which is quite cool. It's not as great as the BTO version, but I like it. All right. Now, number 19. I have a few props, not many, because most of what I have here is MP3s or vinyl. So, Steelers' first album, their debut. I want to say this is their only album. Don't quote me on that. And, of course, this has Yngwie Malmsteen playing on it. Cold Day in Hell, Backseat Driver, No Way Out, Hot on Your Heels, Abduction on the Rocks, spelled R-O-X. That's what threw me off for a minute. Down to the Wire, Born to Rock, and Serenade. This album I like from start to finish. The guitar playing on here is fantastic. Hello, Yngwie Malmsteen, and then of course he joins Alcatraz after this, and then he goes solo. If you don't have this, I highly recommend you get the debut from Steelers. It's got the four corners look, that Van Halen looking thing going. Some people have argued this is not hair metal. If you look it up, it qualifies as hair metal. I'm counting it. There's no one's wearing makeup or anything, but that doesn't have to qualify for hair metal. It's the sound, it's the ethos, if you will. So I'm counting this. So maybe I'm cheating a little bit. Number 18 is, this is going to shock most of you. This is the only album I like from the original lineup, or before they went power metal, hint hint, or groove metal, and that is I Am the Night by Pantera, Terry Glaze and crew, Dimebag Darrell. You know who I'm talking about, right? I like this album a lot. This is the only Terry Glaze album I like by Pantera. So the songs on here that I still listen to are the title track, Onward We Rock, Daughters of the Queen, Valhalla, and Down Below. Most of the album's quite good. I would say 90%. There's one song I don't like, and that song is eluding me. But I Am the Night by Pantera, it's kind of got this menacing face on the cover. For the longest time as a teenager, I was like, who is this? I never heard of them. And then when power metal came out, I was like, oh, Phil Anselmo, native here to New Orleans. So I got that one, and then I went back and looked at their earlier catalog, and I got this one eventually on, I want to say cassette. And then I had a friend who had the earlier Pantera stuff, and I didn't care for that stuff. So I Am the Night by Pantera, when they were still glam metal. Number 17, Back for the Attack from Dokken. What can you say about songs like Kiss of Death, Prisoner, Heaven Sent, Mr. Scary, great instrumental, So Many Tears. There are other songs in here, but those are the ones that I listen to the most. Back for the Attack. I still have this on vinyl and MP3. Don't have it on CD yet. Number 16, Wasp, their debut album. This has the song that came out as a single, Animal, F Like a Beast, starts it off instead of this. The second song on here now is what was originally the opening song, I Want to Be Somebody. Love Machine, great song. The Flame, B.A.D. or Bad. School Days, Hellion, Sleeping in the Fire, On Your Knees, Tormentor, The Torture Never Stops. You got 2 bonus tracks, Show No Mercy and Paint It Black. There was 7-inch B-sides. This is a great album start to finish. I love this album. So always thought it was a great debut. So that comes in at number 16. Number 15 is Hanoi Rocks. And I can never remember that. I always have to look at it. It's called Bangkok Shocks, Saigon Shakes, and Hanoi Rocks. Okay, great album cover. One of my favorite album covers of all time. And you got kind of like the Kaja Gugu look or George Lynch look here from Michael Monroe. I believe that's Michael Monroe. Finnish band, but they moved to London. And once they moved to London, starting to get a more London sound to the vocals, if you will, that London punk sound. They've been regarded as glam metal, glam punk, different. So I'm including them. They have a punk vibe in many of the things that what they do. This album starts with Tragedy, which I love. Village Girl, Stop Crying, Don't Never Leave Me, which makes its way as a remade version on a later album. Lost in the City, First Timer, Cheyenne. 11th Street Kids is great. Walking with My Angel is fabulous, and Pretender. My sister introduced me to this band. Really like this album a lot. All right. So that was number 15. So that cracked my top 15. Number 14 is Love You to Pieces by Lizzie Borden. I'm covering up part of the album cover because I think it's a bit inappropriate. You got a woman in lingerie, and of course you got the lead singer in the mirror there looking all menacing. Songs: Counselor for the Cauldron, Psychopath, Red Rum, Love You to Pieces, the title track, American Metal, great song, Flesh Eaters, Save Me, Warfare, Godiva, and Rod of Iron. You got some bonus tracks here as well. So Love You to Pieces, I love this, a loss for words here, logo for the band. If you can get the live album, I think it's called The Road Show. It's hard to get. It's really good. I used to have that on vinyl as well. So Love You to Pieces by Lizzie Borden. Okay, 13, Slave to the Grind by Skid Row. When I first heard Monkey Business on MTV, those pipes, those introductory, high-pitched vocals by Sebastian Bach, wow. I also like the title track, Wasted Time, In a Darkened Room, Get the F Out, and then depending on what version, back in the day, there were two different versions because one, they had different songs in one place. So one version had one song that was on one album and vice versa. So if you can get the version that has Beggar's Day, that's worthwhile having. I think you can get it now with all the tracks in one go instead of having to find the two separate. So Slave to the Grind by Skid Row. Skid Row comes in at number 13. Number 12, Out of the Cellar by Rat, that great debut. You got Round and Round, Lack of Communication, are two best songs. Of course, the other hit was Back for More. And then Wanted Man and I'm Insane are great as well. So those are the tracks I like the best. I also like that EP that they had with the, it's got you see just a girl's legs with the stockings and the rats are clinging to it. I don't even know if you can get that. I used to have that on vinyl. Wish I still did. Anyway, number 11, Metal Health by Quiet Riot. Their first American debut. They had two albums that they released in Japan that are okay. I've heard them. I can do without them, really. But this is one of those albums that I like start to finish. Some people said there's a lot of filler on here. I don't think so. Maybe one song. You have the title track, Come On Feel the Noise, that Slade cover. Slick Black Cadillac, I just love. Love's a Bitch is my favorite song on this album. Battle Axe is to Quiet Riot what Eruption is to Van Halen in many ways. I think that's what they were going for, and it works. Let's Get Crazy is wonderful, and the song about Randy Rhoads, Thunderbird, is a great song to close the album. It's, of course, kind of sad, but it's a very cool song. I like it, as sad as it is. So Metal Health doesn't crack the top 10, but on the cusp, if you will, number 11. Number 10, another Dokken album, Tooth and Nail. You got the title track, Just Got Lucky, Alone Again, a great slow song, right? When Heaven Comes Down, Into the Fire. I would say Alone Again, Into the Fire, the title track, and Just Got Lucky are four of their best songs of all time. Number 9, another Hanoi Rocks album, Two Steps from the Move. This was produced by Bob Ezrin, and so what you have here is a more Alice Cooper sound, because Michael Monroe sort of sounds in an Alice Cooper vein, sort of. And I wish they had done more albums like this. There's an album, the name of it eludes me, that I just don't like. There are a couple by them in their discography I don't like, and in their when they were good, their first 4 or 5 albums is where it's at. But there are two of those where just some of it I don't like. I didn't want to say I don't like them totally, but there's like half of the material I like and then half of the material I don't. But I like the debut. I like this one, and I like it's eluding me now, but they're a great band in many ways. So, but let me talk about some of the tracks from Two Step from the Move. I Can't Get It, Underwater World. I'll come back to that song in a minute. Don't You Ever Leave Me is the remake of the song on the debut that I talked about earlier. And you Guns N' Roses fans. This is where Axl Rose got his idea for the song Welcome to the Jungle, because the chorus of this song, Underwater World, the Hanoi Rock song, goes, welcome to the ocean, welcome to the sea, welcome to the jungle, deep inside of me. So this inspired Guns N' Roses and Axl Rose to write the song Welcome to the Jungle. The difference is that Welcome to the Jungle is a song about the exterior of California. The jungle is parts of California, I guess Hollywood, and how it will eat you up if you're not careful. here in Underwater World, it's more of a metaphor for what's going on inside of the protagonist's mind or head, right? Inside of me, right? So there's the difference there. So two steps from the move, Bob Ezrin produced. Hanoi Rocks album comes in at number 9. Number 8 is Cinderella's Long Cold Winter. What a great follow-up to their debut album. You got songs like Gypsy Road, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone, one of my favorite songs by them. This is the best song on the album, The Last Mile, Coming Home, and Fire and Ice. Those are the tracks that stand out for me. This is an album I can play start to finish when I'm in the mood for it. Number 7, To Hell with the Devil by Stryper. And my favorite song on this album is what I'll start with, the song The Way. It starts with that bum, 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 and then you go into this amazing guitar riff, which comes in later in the song. And just, man, the guitar licks in that riff are just phenomenal. And Michael Sweet singing at the top of his lungs later on in the song. Just a killer song. And it's a killer album. So in addition to The Way, you have the title track, great song, Free, Honestly, Rockin' the World, and All of Me, a slow song, as is Honestly. They're probably 2 best slow songs. I used to have this on vinyl with the original album cover where the members of the band are playing the Saint Michael, the Archangel role, and they're casting Satan back into hell, and the ground's opening up, right? And I think Satan's wearing jeans, if I'm not mistaken. And he looks half human on one side, and then they changed the album cover, and it's just the Stryper logo with the Isaiah chapter and verse. I don't know why they changed that, because it's not offensive, I don't think. But anyway, you can't get this anymore, even on CD that way. I don't even know if you can get it on CD. I think it's out of print, and you have to get it from a third-party seller. I just have it in MP3 format from a friend. So, To Hell with the Devil by Stryper, number 7. Just a great album. Number 6... another album that has the devil in the title, Shout at the Devil by Motley Crue. Love the title track, Looks That Kill, Too Young to Fall in Love, Helter Skelter, 10 Seconds to Love, Bastard, and Red Hots. A couple songs I didn't mention or kind of filler, but I like this album. So there you go. That's number 6, Shout at the Devil, Motley Crue. Number 5, Too Fast for Love by Motley Crue. So two Motley Crue albums back to back. And I have this one CD. Live Wire, my favorite Motley Crue song of all time. Too bad they couldn't stay in that heavy vein. Excuse me. Come On and Dance, Public Enemy number 1. Merry Go Round, my second favorite song of all time by them. Take Me to the Top is great. Piece of Your Action, Starry Eyes, Too Fast for Love, the title track, and On with the Show. Then you got some bonus tracks. Toast of the Town is great. Tonight, Stick to Your Guns, which was on the original Leather Records released before it was released on Motley Records, or I think Elektra. The original Too Fast for Love was on Leather Records, and it had different versions of Merry Go Rounds, like songs that were acoustic were electric and vice versa. And I know Merry Go Round was one of those. So Toast of the Town and Stick to Your Guns is why you need to get this version with the bonus tracks. There are 14 songs in all. After Stick to Your Guns, you have a live version of Merry Go Round from San Antonio, Texas. This is great. This is a must-have. Great album cover, too. So anyway, if you can find the Leather Records version on vinyl, I don't think it's available on CD at all, and you're a vinyl person, grab it, because those alternate versions of the original versions on Leather Records are just phenomenal. They're better than the ones here. So Too Fast for Love cracks my top 5. Oh, and if you don't know this, Nikki Sixx was a big fan of the band Sweet. And so you hear kind of that style in here a little bit. All right, number 4 is Cinderella's Night Songs. This is one of those hair metal albums that's great from start to finish. You have the title track, Shake Me, Nobody's Fool, Somebody Save Me, Once Around the Ride. I love the song Once Around the Ride. That's one of my favorite songs by them. I've seen them live 3 times when I was 15 and 16. And what drew them to me initially was Tom Keever's voice sounds like a cross between Steven Tyler and Brian Johnson, or Bon Scott. Says that Aerosmith ACD kind of vibe going on with the vocals and to some extent the music. Anyway, and I like their bluesy direction after their second album, but for me, I like their hair metal-y stuff hair metal-y stuff better. But that's just my personal taste. Number 3, another album great from start to finish, and that is Tesla's Mechanical Resonance, their first album, their debut. Easy Come, Easy Go, Coming at You Live. Too Late for Love is just fabulous. Rock Me to the Top, my favorite song by them, so heavy. Modern Day Cowboy. Let's see, there's some other great songs. Changes, that compelling slow song. Depressing but great. The Cover, Little Susie. Love Me is quite good. Cover Queen is amazing. And then Before My Eyes is even more amazing. Oh, wow. Slow but compelling. Grab you in. I'm literally getting goosebumps while talking about it. So Mechanical Resonance by Tesla, my third favorite hair metal album. And some people said they're not hair metal, they're more blues based. They've gotten thrown into that label, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and make them my number 3. Number 2 is Pyromania by Def Leppard. This is the last album I like by them. I like High and Dry the best. This is my second favorite, and my third favorite is the debut. Yeah, I think Pete Willis plays on a few tracks here. If you look at the old video for A Rock of Ages, there are 6 hooded figures, not 5, and I'm wondering if one of those is Pete. I've always wondered that. Who is that? Mutt Lange himself? Anyway, so Rock Till You Drop, Photograph, Stage Fright, Too Late for Love, Die Hard the Hunter, Foolin', Rock of Ages, Coming Under Fire, great song. Action Not Words, great song. Billy's Got a Gun, great song. 1983, I'm in high school. Not as good and heavy. This is great. Let me say, this is a great album, but not as great as High and Dry, which is more heavier in tone, and Pete Willis is all over it with his guitar tone. It's a fabulous album. This is good. So this is great, so it makes my number 2 favorite hair metal album of all time. Despite that it's been overplayed, I still love Photograph and Foolin' and Rock of Ages. But the whole album's great, start to finish. And then finally, my number 1 favorite hair metal album of all time, also an album that is great from start to finish. Are you ready for it now? Drum roll, please. Under Lock and Key by Dokken. Unchained the Night, great way to open an album. The Hunter, goosebumpy song. In My Dreams, oh wow. Slipping Away, sad, depressing ballad, but a great song nonetheless. Lightning Strikes Again, we're back to being heavy. It's Not Love, another heavy song. There's that video where they're on the semi, right? Jaded Heart, another slow ballad. Great song, though. Don't Lie to Me, probably my least favorite, but still a really good song. Will the Sun Rise, a moving song about the apocalypse, about nuclear war. So thematically, a thrash metal song because it's about the apocalypse, but not a thrash metal song. And then ending the album with a heavy song, Till the Living End. I sometimes wonder if they should have switched Till the Living End to end side 1 on vinyl, and Lightning Strikes Again to end side 2 on vinyl. But either way, they're both heavy, a great way to end each side. I prefer Lightning Strikes Again just a tad bit to Till the Living End. So these are my top favorite 25 albums of all time. Now, I do want to talk about some albums or some artists I did not include in my list and explain why. So I didn't include Kix. I like the band Kix. Don't Close Your Eyes is my favorite song by them. But I only like a hand from their somewhat vast discography. Not that vast, but there's only maybe 10 or 12 songs I like by them, so I didn't include them. And there's no album that I like that's 90% or 80% or 75% from start to finish good. So I didn't include them, but I have to talk about how I like them. I didn't include Great White because it's the same problem. I like a lot of the Great White songs, but there isn't an album where I like 70+% of the album or more. Despite the fact that they have a lot of great songs. Only a handful on this album, that album, right? Now, there's no Warrant because I only like 2 or 3 songs by them. I know I like Cherry Pie and I Saw Red, and there's a third song that's eluding me. I can't stand Poison, so I'm not including them at all. I cannot stand the Winger. Everyone's talking about how they love the new Winger album. I've listened to it 3 times now. I still don't like it. There's just something about Winger I don't like. LA Guns, I used to like their debut. I don't need to listen to that ever again. I'm not compelled. It was a phase I went through, and that was it. And then finally, Guns N' Roses. I used to have the debut on vinyl, cassette, and CD, and a couple years ago I gave it to Goodwill. I still like the song Rocket Queen and My Michelle and there's 3 songs I still listen to. I have them in MP3 format. So I don't want to say I don't listen to this anymore. I listen to those 3 or 4 songs, and that's it. I don't need to hear Sweet Child of Mine ever again. And the one that they used to play where they're wearing the white jackets and it looks like it's being performed live. Paradise City. I cannot stand that song anymore. I guess because it was overplayed anyway. So Guns N' Roses was a phase that I went through, and I only like a handful of songs from Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. So again, if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, great. I'm jealous that I don't like them as much as I used to, but that happens sometimes. So anyway, these are my top 25 favorite hair metal albums of all time. Please tell me what you think of this list. Post your own list if you like in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you can be apprised of all upcoming videos, especially this week. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Have a glorious day. Bye.